Hello, everyone, and welcome to, well, where are you going? Just lay down. You're fine. Welcome to another video. Oh, big yawns from Rigby. Go back to sleep. Go back, cuddle with the seal. Go back to sleep. Welcome to the next installment. I believe we are on chapter 12 of Carmilla here. So welcome back. So now we're going to get down. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there stuff in your spot? Your Majesty. Just sit back up where you were. Up, down, up, down with this cat. Just go back up there. Oh my God, you're being silly. Go back up. It's fine. Just sit there. All right. So, the next chapter, chapter 12 of Carmilla. So we're getting near the end of it. Sorry, I'm just looking to make sure that he's actually going to settle. Actually, I am going to do one thing before we start. Sorry, that was just the sound of me turning off our air conditioner because it does get a little loud in the background sometimes. I find I don't know how it'll be with the new mics, but I thought I'd turn it off anyway, just in case. You might be able to hear actually. I hope it's picking that up. Ooh, Rigby purrs. You tell me. Here, you can rub yourself on it. Do not eat, please. Yeah, so chapter 12 of the classic vampire story, Carmilla. So before we head on into it, sorry it's taken me so long to get myself together here at the beginning. I promise it'll get better as I start to read. So speaking of reading, before I get into it, please keep in mind that these are stories that I read. That most of them are from the late 19th to early 20th century, and as such might have things in them regarding race, gender, religion, orientation, whatever you can think of, that might be distasteful, quite rightly, to modern people. And if that doesn't sound like something you're interested in, feel free to exit this video right now and go find something that's a little more your cup of tea. Related to that, because I read a lot of creepy stories, the things that give rise to creepy stories are often unpleasant, murders, suicides, that kind of thing. So again, if that doesn't sound like quite your cup of tea, feel free to head on out and find a different cup. So I think that's it. Just the usual warnings. And as I always do, I will apologize in advance for anything I mispronounce or when I misspeak and have to read something again and such little mistakes that I seem to make a lot in these videos. So chapter 12 of Carmilla. It's called A Petition. Then we are to lose Madame la Comtesse, but I hope only for a few hours, I said with a low bow. It may be that only, or it may be a few weeks. It was very unlucky his speaking to me just now as he did. Do you not know me? I assured her I did not. You shall know me, she said, but not at present. We are older and better friends than perhaps you suspect, Creepy. I cannot yet declare myself. I shall, in 3 weeks, pass your beautiful Schloss, about which I have been making inquiries. Also really creepy. I mean, even if it wasn't like a vampire thing, hey, I've just been like looking at your house online like a creep. I shall then look in upon you for an hour or two and renew a friendship which I never think of without 1,000 pleasant recollections. This moment a piece of news has reached me like a thunderbolt. I must set out now and travel by a devious route. A devious route? Sure. Nearly 100 miles with all the dispatch I can possibly make. My perplexities multiply. I am only deterred by the compulsory reserve I practice as to my name from making a very singular request of you. My poor child has not quite recovered her strength. Her, her horse fell with her at a hunt which she had ridden out to witness. Her nerves have not yet recovered the shock, and our physician says that she must on no account exert herself for some time to come. Well, that sucks, falling off of a horse. Or falling with a horse, I guess. I mean, she's probably lying, but still, that would suck. We came here in consequence by very easy stages, hardly 6 leagues a day. I must now travel day and night on a mission of life and death, a mission the critical and monumentous nature of which I shall hope to be able to explain to you when we meet next, as I hope we shall in a few weeks, without the necessity of any concealment. I mean, at this point, if you're asking them to take your kid, you should tell them your name. Like this, admittedly, that setup is very, very weird. She went on to make her petition, and it was in the tone of a person from whom such a request amounted to conferring rather than seeking a favor. Oh, one of those people. Great. I've decided to let you help me today. Wonderful. That's just what I need. This was only in manner and, as it seemed, quite unconsciously. Then the terms in which it was expressed, nothing could be more depre- blah, pardon me, nothing could be more deprecatory. Are you just okay? He's just rolling. It was simply that I could consent to take charge of her daughter during her absence, or rather, oh my gosh, I'm bad today. I'm bad at this today. It was simply that I would consent to take charge of her daughter during her absence. Yeah, you don't know their name or where they're from. Like none of that's resolved, but that's taking in a stray teenager. That's absolutely cool and fine. This was, all things considered, a strange, not to say an audacious request. You know, audacious is a really good word for it. She, in some sort, disarmed me by stating and admitting everything that could be urged against it and throwing herself entirely upon my chivalry. I mean, that's how you do it, though. You always open with, I know this is asking a lot, and I know you're really busy. Like, that is an actual strategy for asking a big favor. At the same moment, by a fatality that seems to have predetermined all that happened, my poor child came to my side, and in an undertone besought me to invite her new friend, Millarca, to pay us a visit. She had just been sounding her and thought if her mamma would allow her, she would like it extremely. At another time, I should have told her to wait a little until at least we knew who they were. I mean, that's fair. But I had not a moment to think in. The two ladies assailed me together, and I must confess the refined and beautiful face of the young lady, about which there was something extremely engaging, as well as the elegance and blah, as well as the elegance and fire of high birth, determined to me and quite overpowered. I submitted and undertook, too easily, the care of the young lady whom her mother called Millarca. So that was almost all one sentence, just so you know. But yes, that's also a thing. Like when people are um, trying to scam you, they talk to you like they don't give you space to breathe or think to try and get you to do what they want. So that's another thing that's like an actual strategy. But yeah, you definitely want to step away and just say, hang on a second, this is weird. The countess beckoned to her daughter, who listened with grave attention while she told her, in general terms, how suddenly and oh my God, and peremptorily she had been summoned, and also of the arrangement she had made for her under my care, adding that I was one of her earliest and most valued friends. Dude, you need to start asking questions more forcefully. I made, of course, such speeches as the case seemed to call for, and found myself, on reflection, in a position which I did not half like. I mean, I wouldn't either, that's fine. The gentleman in black returned and very ceremoniously conducted the lady from the room. The demeanor of this gentleman was such as to impress me with the conviction that the Countess was a lady of very much more importance than her modest title alone might have led me to assume. She's a con artist. Her last charge to me was that no attempt was to be made to learn more about her than I might have already guessed until her return. Our distinguished host, whose guest she was, knew her reasons. But here, she said, neither I nor my daughter could safely remain for more than a day. I removed my mask imprudently for a moment, about an hour ago, and too late, I fancied you saw me. So I resolved to seek an opportunity of talking a little to you. Had I found that you had seen me, I would have thrown myself on your high sense of honor to keep my secret some weeks. As it is, I am satisfied that you did not see me, but if you now suspect, or on reflection should suspect who I am, I commit myself in the matter entirely to your honor. My daughter will observe the same secrecy, and I well know that you will from time to time remind her, lest she should thoughtlessly disclose it. She whispered a few words to her daughter, kissed her hurriedly twice, and went away, accompanied by the pale gentleman in black, and disappeared in the crowd. Yeah, really, really weird. Just a whole. This is one of those things where if it's a true crime documentary, you're yelling at the screen, being like, "Why would you do that? That's such a dumb choice." In the next room, said Millarca, there is a window that looks upon the hall door. I should like to see the last of Mamma and to kiss my hand to her. We assented, of course, and accompanied her to the window. We looked out and saw a handsome old-fashioned carriage with a troop of couriers and footmen. We saw the slim figure of the pale gentleman in black as he held a thick velvet cloak and placed it about her shoulders and threw the hood over her head. She nodded to him and just touched his hand with hers. He bowed low repeatedly as the door closed and the carriage began to move. She is gone, said Millarca with a sigh. She is gone, I repeated to myself for the first time, in the hurried moments that had elapsed since my consent, reflecting upon the folly of my act. Yeah, yes, very, lots of folly, very foolish. She did not look up, said the young lady plaintively. The Countess had taken off her mask, perhaps, and did not care to show her face, I said, and she could not know that you were in the window. She sighed and looked at my face. She was so beautiful that I relented. I was sorry I had for a moment repented of my hospitality, and I determined to make her amends for the unavowed churlishness of my reception. The young lady, replacing her mask, joined my ward in persuading me to return to the grounds where the concert was soon to be renewed. We did so, and walked up and down the terrace that lies under the castle window. Okay, let's hope that's enough. The young lady, replacing her mask, joined my ward in persuading me to return to the grounds where the concert was soon to be renewed. We did so, and walked up and down the terrace that lies under the castle windows. Millarca became very intimate with us and amused us with lively descriptions and stories of most of the great people whom we saw upon the terrace. I liked her more and more every minute. Her gossip, without being ill-natured, was extremely diverting to me, who had been so long out of the great world. I thought what life she would give to our sometimes lonely evenings at home. This ball was not over until the morning sun had almost reached the horizon. It pleased the Grand Duke to dance till then, so loyal people could not go away or think of bed. We had just got through a crowded saloon, so like a place in a rich person's house, not like cowboys in the Old West, although that would be kind of cool, when my ward asked me what had become of Millarca. I thought she had been by her side, and she fancied she was by mine. The fact was, we had lost her. Great. You've just been put in charge of her, and you've lost her. All my efforts to find her were vain. I feared that she had mistaken, in the confusion of a momentary separation from us, other people for her new friends, and had possibly pursued and lost them in the extensive grounds which were thrown open to us. Now, in its full force, I recognized a new folly in my having undertaken the charge of a young lady without so much as knowing her name, yeah, you think? And fettered as I was by promises of the reasons for imposing, which I knew nothing, I could not even point my inquiries by saying that the missing young lady was the daughter of the countess who had taken her departure a few hours before. Morning broke. It was clear daylight before I gave up my search. It was not till near 2 o'clock next day we heard anything of my missing charge. At about that time a servant knocked at my niece's door to say that he had been earnestly requested by a young lady, who appeared to be in great distress, to make out where she could find the General Baron Spelsdorf and the young lady his daughter, in whose charge she had been left by her mother. There could be no doubt, notwithstanding the slight inaccuracy, that our young friend had turned up, and so she had. Would to heaven we had lost her. Yeah, it's probably little. Yeah, hindsight's always 2020. She told my poor child a story to account for having failed to recover us for so long. Very late, she said, she had got to the housekeeper's bedroom in despair of finding us, and had then fallen into a deep sleep which, long as it was, had hardly sufficed to recruit her strength after the fatigues of the ball. That day Millarca came home with us. I was only too happy, after all, to have secured so charming a companion for my dear girl. So, little bit of sinister shadowing there, but yeah, that's it for chapter 12 of Carmilla. And how's Ricky doing? Oh, stretchy baby, what a good boy. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed our time reading together, and I hope that we can meet up here again soon for the rest of Carmilla. And until then, I hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. And goodbye for now, folks, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this story really soon.